Good morning, LockPod listeners. Belgium's top-rated podcast. This is Season 7, Episode 18. Don't worry if you don't see the locomotive on screen. Don't turn off your LockPod listening devices yet. He's really here. It's not just going to be me, the caboose, and Lindsay and John.
Yeah, I was going to go and sit at the table with Kevin, but they said that I wasn't suitable for online viewers.
I don't think that's what we said.
We should have Tom on the
Actually,
line
show
now.
the Lindsay cam real quick so you can see it, and we can say if people think she's suitable for online viewing.
I have hat hair. That's why they wouldn't let me on.
There you are.
I'm keeping my hat on.
There it is.
Hey, Tom, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you guys. Can you hear me?
Oh, there's the locomotive.
There he
Hey,
is.
what's up?
Get him
Live
on.
from Evansville, Indiana.
Woo!
Hey, John, can you hit banjo like immediately just because he's really on the road?
Yeah.
Truly on the road.
Not the same when I'm down here.
There it is. You probably couldn't even hear the banjo.
How you feeling, Tom?
I'm tired. I'm
Yeah,
a long way from home. I've been gone basically since Thursday. I really miss being home, I'll be honest with you.
Yeah, he misses his bed.
Yeah, the campaign trail is not always the best resting place for Tom
Yeah,
McDermott.
I just got wonderful news. I get to stay at this hotel 2 days instead of 1 day now. So.
Ooh, yay.
Perfect.
You
Hey.
sound homesick. Yeah, I can
Well,
hear it.
you know, I'm in my Mustang.
He's in his Mustang?
It was like 60 degrees in the region when I left, and it's freaking snowed here last night a little bit, and I'm driving my Mustang, so it's real icy, and yeah, it turned winter on me, and I'm driving a Mustang Shelby.
A summer vehicle,
Yeah,
rear wheel drive.
yeah.
Well, tell us about being on the road. I know that, like, basically, we're going to get, by the way, we've got a great show. We are going to absolutely do a deep dive into the debate and get Mayor Tom's take on the whole debate experience in a little bit. But before we do that, wanted to talk about just Mayor Tom on the road because the campaign trail never ends. And maybe you could tell us just a little bit about your day yesterday, starting with the contract with women at the State House.
Oh, thanks, Kev. Yeah, it's yeah, we started our latest tour, which happened right after the debate ended. The Indiana Democratic Party had the idea of a representative from Indianapolis, Carrie Hamilton. She's a great representative. She had the idea that stemmed from what the Republicans did in 1994 with their contract with America. She pitched it to the party, and the party jumped all over it as a contract between Democratic candidates and Hoosier women. And obviously it has things like protecting access to contraceptives, protecting access to abortion, protecting access to health care, maternal leave, a number of issues that we all signed on the contract that said we're going to support those issues. And we're going to different parts of the state, signing the contract between local elected officials and women. And I'm making a lot of those stops, obviously, because I'm statewide. So.
Yeah, and I mean, I know I've heard this many times when you've spoken, Tom, and that is that you always say I'm 100% pro-woman. So I assume it's pretty easy for you to sign the contract with women.
Yeah, definitely easy, and it's stuff that I believe in. It's stuff that Indiana is not doing a good enough job at, and it's things that the Democratic candidates are willing to do that the Republican candidates are not willing to do, like protect women's access to health care. Look at that, Lindsay's in my seat.
Yes, Lindsay's here.
Well, John and I concluded, since you're not going to have your face in the shot, that I can come sit over here because it was looking a little lopsided.
I was hoping that Tom was going to actually video in, but he's audioing in, which is fine.
He's audioing in.
So who was at the State House, Tom?
Let's see. Well, Carrie Hamilton. Obviously, my entire ticket, the statewide ticket, was there. So Zanae Brooks for auditor was there. Jessica McClellan for treasurer was there. Destiny Scott Wells for Secretary of State was there. I was there along with a number of local candidates. Jocelyn Vera was running for Indiana State Senate. Gosh, you're making me remember everybody. A number of representatives were there. It was the one in Indianapolis was real big.
That's great.
And then I did one yesterday in Terre Haute that was not as big as the one we did in Indianapolis State House. In Terre Haute, we had the local chairman there and a number of local elected officials. They have a PhD doctor in Vigo County that's the coroner. She was there. It was another good hit. And media on every stop I'm making right now. So
that's great. I thought I saw some pictures. I didn't have a chance to send them to John. this morning, but I thought I saw some pictures from Chairman Joe Etling's office, or it seemed like a law office that you were at doing a little talk, and then you had a fundraiser last night.
Yeah, it's been busy. It's just like, I feel like I'm in that Southwest airline commercial where I go up and I say the wrong city because it's all just like blurred together in my head. Like,
you got to get those votes, Dad.
Yeah.
It's going to be like this until the election.
I know. I'm getting all the votes on the road. I don't know if I'm going to get Marissa to vote for me, though, because I've been home a lot. So.
I know
I'm taking that one for granted, I guess.
Dad was so homesick that he called me willingly yesterday.
Wow.
We had a nice conversation.
Wow. you may want him on the road a little more, Linz.
I know.
That's
it was nice. When Dad, he's exhausted all of his other resources.
He's like, I'm going to call Lindsay.
Yeah, he's like, finally, I guess I'll call Lindsay.
That wasn't it. That wasn't the way it worked.
So I know today you've got a busy day. I saw that you're keynoting tonight at the Vanderburgh County event. You've got something in Boonville, and then you get to spend another night in Evansville.
Oh, so fun.
I'm going to let the hotel know that.
The Vegas of Indiana.
Yeah, you better let the hotel know that pretty soon. Well, we're hoping
there's
to get
literally
you back.
in this hotel, there's literally like 10 people staying here. I'm literally like downtown Evansville, and there's nothing going on. It's not exactly the place to be for a nightlife. So
I'm sure they'll be thrilled to find out that a Senate hopeful and future senator is staying at their hotel.
Well,
That's
check
right.
this out. Funny story about that. So I come walking in after driving from Terre Haute to Evansville. Took me a couple hours, and it was really it was real cold. I was sort of nervous that it was going to be icy, and I come pulling in. It's literally 10 o'clock at night local. And as soon as I check in, the dude at the front desk was like looking at me weird. And then he ran to the back room and he pulled his mom out, and they came around and took pictures with me.
Wow.
He's a celebrity.
He's a fan. All right. That's a
the
vote.
first
A
time
couple
that's
votes.
happened.
That's
When
real
I was
cool.
checking into a hotel, he's like, hold on 2 seconds. My mom wants to say something. And then she came out. She told me I did a great job. And yeah.
That's awesome.
What if it wasn't like because of the Senate candidacy? It was like, you're the lockpot guy.
Yeah.
That's what it was. That's exactly it.
Yep.
No,
All right.
actually, they have roots from East Chicago, actually. So
Oh,
they're,
nice.
Good
the
for
region
them.
people
That's
down here
really
in Evansville.
cool. I love it when you get region people on the road.
Yeah. But as soon as I checked in, he knew who I was. It was a creepy feeling.
He like read your social security number and he's like, I recognize that.
We don't have
No,
cameras
they-
in your
they were
room,
like-
though.
They saw my name, actually, as a guest, and they said, they wanted to make sure when I checked in that they came out and took a picture with me.
That was
So,
really cool. Very cool.
So they were just waiting patiently all day for you to show up, huh?
That's
yeah,
great.
yeah.
Well, enjoy Evansville today. That's going to be an exciting day in Evansville.
Go
And
to the
then
Evansville Cracker Barrel.
Yes. Hopefully you'll be back. Are you coming home tomorrow?
Yeah, I'm just going to wake up early tomorrow and get back. I have some stuff back home I have to take care of, and I got Mayor's Night out tomorrow night. So, but I found a really good Mexican restaurant. So I'm traveling the Mexican restaurants across Indiana right now.
Well, now we know you're happy, right? At least you're getting good food.
You know, that should be like a Lock Pod like special where like Mayor Tom travels to all of Indiana's like popular Mexican restaurants.
Get a photo. Yeah, get some photos
We
of you in
tried
the
their
Mexican
chips and
restaurants.
salsa, a margarita, and then their spiciest dish, and Dad rates them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Last night it was a good one. It was like it would have stood up well in the region. It was so good. So
Good. At least you're getting some good food on the road. So let's do some ads. We're going to come back and we are going to do an extended kind of debate review, some great highlights, some funny moments, and get kind of like the behind the scenes review by Tom about what happened and how it all went down. So it was a great day, I think, for the campaign. Great day for Tom's candidacy. And we're going to be right back after we do some ads. So, Lindsay, start us off.
Oh, sure. Chris Jones at Properties. Looking to buy your dream home? Chris Jones with AT Properties or at Properties can help. All across Northwest Indiana, it's still a great time to buy with inventory available spanning all price ranges. And if you're considering a sale, Chris Jones will get your house sold. To reach the #1 brokerage in the Chicagoland area, contact Chris Jones at atproperties.com. That's Chris Jones at atproperties.com.
Cantrell and Cantrell, attorneys at law. Are you injured or in trouble with the law? Give them a call and schedule your consultation today with somebody who is in court and at the jail every day. Call John Cantrell at 219-554-4LAW. That's 219-554-4LAW. Or visit their website at bettercallcantrell.com. John and his wife, Kristen, make a great team and are waiting to hear from you.
Tortillas Nuevo Leon is the gold standard in Mexican cuisine throughout the Midwest. Look for Tortillas Nuevo Leon's popular red and white label at your local grocery store and enjoy quality Mexican products made with local expertise.
Tortillas Nuevo León, hechas con amor, para ti y tu familia de todo corazón. Tortillas Nuevo León, hechas con amor, para ti y tu familia de todo corazón.
Tri Electronics wants to be your complete communications provider. Tri Electronics has been a leader in this industry for more than 55 years. They're dedicated to assisting their clients with their systems integration needs. Tri Electronics has the expertise and experience to provide superior results for a wide variety of projects. For more information, call Tri Electronics today at 800-722-6793.
Powering America. The Lake County Electricians Training Center is seeking applications for the electrical apprenticeship program. If you are a person who enjoys working with your hands in a challenging and ever-changing environment, the electrical apprenticeship might be for you. This apprenticeship opportunity provides tuition-free education along with paid on-the-job training. Successful applicants will be looking to make a long-term commitment to their new careers. To learn more about the apprenticeship programs, visit apply697.com. That is apply697.com.
No,
right.
Thank you to our sponsors. Thank you, Lindsay, for being here.
I know.
Present.
I feel so special. I
Up
can
at that-
see why he likes this
You
chair.
got moved up to the head table.
I know. I'm at the adults table now.
You're at the adults table. Adulting.
Yep, adulting.
All right. So the locomotive's on the line. We've got a lot of great video to show you regarding the debate. But first, I just want to ask you, Tom, kind of going into the studio, talk about kind of the lead up to the debate and how you were feeling and getting there and all that.
Nervous.
Well, my team did a real good job getting me ready. I mean, I don't know how much Todd Young prepared, but I can tell you that I did about 5 debates under the rules of the debate before I walked into the debate. So I felt like I'd been there before when I walked in there. I had Drew Anderson, who is the communications coordinator for the Indiana Democratic Party. He was my Todd Young in all my debate preps, and he was far meaner, far more articulate than the real Todd Young turned out to be. I mean,
I think I agree with that.
Drew was a mean Todd Young, and he was coming at me the whole time. So I was ready. I was ready for an aggressive Todd Young because Drew played that, and he did a great job. And then James Skiniak was played by Zach Brown, my campaign manager, and Zach was a perfect James Skiniak. I'm telling you, I felt like when I was in the debate, I felt like I'd been there multiple times already. And we anticipated the questions really well, right, Kevin? I mean, our
I think I was gonna say something funny. I thought Drew and Zach might end up voting Libertarian and Republican. They did so well in their characters, but
they were channeling.
They were. I thought at one point Drew was just gonna be like, F this Democratic Party. I'm going the other way. I'm going to become
We got to get them into the local acting circuit.
I thought one of the really cool things about our prep was that, at the debate, we hit, I think, every topic except one that you got questioned on. And the one that you didn't get questioned on or that we hadn't prepped on, you gave a great answer. So I thought overall, like you said.
What was that? Climate change?
I thought it was maybe it was either climate change or maybe it was race relations. I can't remember. It was one of the two, but you did a great job with the answer anyway. And climate change was one that you already knew about because you've kind of grew up in, where you grew up, and then what you've seen over the years. You always bring up those stories about, things that have changed. So I thought overall the prep really matched up with the actual debate topic-wise, right?
Absolutely. I felt like, we knew that we had the whole debate planned out. We knew that, each of us was going to get 1 minute to respond. We knew that there'd be a rebuttal in 30 seconds. We knew there was an opening in 1 minute, and we timed it out, and we figured out there's only going to be around 10 questions. And so we just pounded those questions into my head. And basically I was just listening for, like, if Todd Young said inflation, I knew exactly where I was going. If the word climate change came up, I knew exactly where I was going. If the Inflation Reduction Act came up, I knew exactly where I was going. I mean, I was very, very prepared when I walked in there.
So kind of a funny thing that happened. So we roll up and we get dropped off, and there was a really nice sized crowd there to greet Tom. There was a megaphone. There was like people that had Fire Todd Young signs and like McDermott signs. Tom went over and greeted them and thanked them for coming out. And then like all of a sudden you saw these like two young guys with like suits on, like scurrying around the building. And we were like, what's going on? And Leandre, who's the political director for the campaign, he's like, let me go check out what's going on. So he goes and checks it out. And it was like Todd Young's staff that didn't want him to roll up where the protesters or like where the Tom fans were. Oh. And so like they took him in another door quickly. So I thought that was probably kind of funny.
Wow, he doesn't want to face anybody. Like,
why would he want to face the public?
Opposition?
Right.
Wow.
Well, he doesn't anyway. So I thought that was kind of funny. And then Tom got in. We got taken to the room. Tom went to makeup. And then he came back.
Dad wore makeup?
Let's talk about that. How was that, Tom?
They even put lipstick on me.
Wow.
Like, yeah, I mean,
can't really tell in this picture here that they have on the screen.
No, the lady, it was like lip gloss, I'd imagine, but
yeah,
the lady that did my makeup was really nice, and everybody was really, really sweet. I think they were secret Democrats, personally. I think everybody in there was sort of pulling for me. I had that feeling that a lot of the staff was happy to see me there and happy that we had the debate, and because it was all the members of the Indiana Debate Commission, and, obviously I wanted to have 9 debates, and Todd Young didn't want to have any. So.
Yeah, so you wanted to give him more work to do, which I think they probably would have appreciated.
Yeah, I mean, I think the commission knew that they were the ones that were like they got told no, just like we did, right? I mean, like they were probably hoping to have more debates. So you're right, Tom. They were happy that you were there, and I think in a way they're rooting for you. You wanted to have more debates than he did,
right?
Yeah.
So they're passionate.
They were really
debates.
sweet. They give us a nice cheese bowl and nice little snacks.
It's funny, like some people don't want to eat before, like they're nervous, right?
Dad needs to eat.
Yeah, so it's funny, right? They bring in the cheese plate. Tom's like, "Hey, open that up. Let's get eaten." And he wanted to chow down before. I was like,
cheese?
Wow.
They gave him cheese?
Well, like it was like a cheese tray.
He's going to have some
not
dairy,
just cheese.
dairy digestive issues while he's on stage.
Yeah.
But it's also like vocally, I think, the dairy can affect him.
Yeah. Tom was ready, though.
Interesting.
He didn't want a lot of water
Maybe it just made him
before.
a little quieter, because normally he is very loud, and they've got a microphone right in front of him. So I think they probably strategized that.
So you get in the studio, and you're ready to go. I assume you greet the other debaters, and away you go, the other candidates?
Yeah, I walked up to Todd, and I said, thank you for being here. And I shook his hand. I said, I'm really sorry about your father. He said the same thing to me. We weren't like chit-chatty. He literally just shook my hand, said thank you, gave me condolences, and then he bounced. He didn't want to talk to me very much. And then James and I talked a little bit. But the funny thing is, so I had my open and my close memorized. So we gamed this out, so I knew the rules of the debate. And I said, as soon as I hit my podium, I'm going to write my open and my close down on a piece of paper, so I don't even have to worry anymore. I just puke it on paper and basically just use it as like keywords when I'm giving my speech.
Because you get a notebook. That's it, right? And it has to be a certain size, and that's all you get you can't bring notes up, right?
Blank notebook, and they check you when you get in there. I showed my notebook is blank, and I go, can I start writing? So I'm like, can I start writing? And they go, and the lady that was running is like, yeah, I guess so. I mean, because I had like 10 minutes before we went on C-SPAN. So I just start writing my open down on the notebook. And I had the whole thing, the open and close, written down. And then Todd Young gets pissy about it. He's like, what's going on here? Why is he writing? And I'm like, we're allowed to write.
Todd Young said that?
We're in there. Yeah.
Wow.
So he goes up to his dude. And his dude goes up to the moderator, and she comes up to me. She's like, Mr. McDermott, you're not supposed to have anything in your notebook. I said, I asked before I filled it out. And I'm like, hey, listen, I don't want to cause problems. So I ripped the page out that I wrote on, and I handed it to her, and she rips it up. So I'm sitting there, and it's about 3 minutes before the debate, and we're all at the stage. And I'm like, can I start writing now? And they go, yeah, you can start writing now. So I write down my open and my close again. And then the lady
he's got it up here
again. She's like, you're not supposed to start writing until the debate begins. And I'm like, seriously? So I ripped the goddamn page out again. I hand it to her, and she rips it up. I'm like, I can't catch a freaking break here, right? So as soon as the moderator said her first word, she said, good evening. I start everything down on paper again. I got it all down. I got the open and close down. And once I was on paper, I was completely confident. So...
Yeah, you had written it 4 times by that time. So
yeah,
that's how I memorize my lines and plays. It's just write them down.
There you go.
Over and over and over again.
Yeah.
All right, so let's start getting into some of this video, because there were some really interesting moments. And the first clip we have is like Todd Young's like attempt to like like rip on the locomotive. And I thought it felt pretty flat. But let's take a listen to this. Is that what we've got here?
This is the what is this?
I've got the first one is what an unfortunate.
Yes. This is regarding the January 6th remarks.
Yes.
Tom
So
made.
here we go.
Yeah. On the steps of the Capitol, he says, I agree that President Trump won the election. It's on tape. You could look at it. Then he walks into the U.S. Capitol and displays his second face where he votes Joe Biden as the President of the United States. The fact is this. Joe Biden did win the presidency. We need to continue the Democratic experiment by acknowledging when you lost. And I've lost before. And I called up the person that beat me on that night. And it was the hardest phone call I made in my life. And I said, congratulations, Congressman. You won. I'm going to do anything I can help you to succeed. And I meant it. And that's what you're supposed to do when you lost. And the President of the United States didn't even have the same courage to do that. And a mayor of the city of Hammond did.
Thank you. Mr. Young.
What an unfortunate presentation that just was. I'm reminded of Abraham Lincoln's response to Stephen Douglas. Abraham Lincoln said, if I had two faces, you think I'd be wearing this one.
Hilarious. I mean, like.
He called himself ugly as a rebuttal?
No, I think
I don't know.
I think that's what he did.
Maybe he called himself two-faced.
I'm really not sure. I still don't get it.
What an unfortunate presentation
because
that was.
that Abraham Lincoln quote is because if you call me
he's ugly.
Yeah,
right,
but he's calling himself ugly. So if Todd Young is using that as
that reminds me of how ugly I am.
That reminds me that if I had two faces, I definitely wouldn't choose the uglier one. So,
I agree with you, Lindsay. It's either he's saying he's two-faced Todd or he's ugly. It's one of those two.
Which one is it, Todd?
Take your pick.
No.
Yeah, and I thought that was his real zinger to Tom McDermott. What an unfortunate presentation that was. He just looked so miffed.
I mean, the fact is, on January 6th, that day in particular, Todd Young chooses to wear his camouflage jacket, which is signal for every military person in the world. When you wear camouflage, it means one thing. I'm going to battle. I'm going to war. Todd Young decides on this day, that's the day he's going to wear his camouflage jacket. And he stands on the steps of the Capitol and tells a bunch of MAGA supporters, I agree with you. Donald Trump won the presidency, but I have a job to do inside. I took an oath. I mean, a real leader stood on the steps and said, Joe Biden's the president of the United States. That's what a real winner that cares about democracy would have done.
All right, so the next clip we've got is another kind of, I thought, interesting thing by Senator Young when he invoked look how bipartisan, look how interesting I am, and he brings up this kind of esoteric reference to Ruth Bader Ginsburg, who of course is right here in our studio. But
R.I.P.
Let's see, RBG. Here we go.
I agree with Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Yes, that's right. The liberal exponent of abortion rights as a matter of policy. But as a matter of law, Ruth Bader Ginsburg said that Roe versus Wade was weak law. It did not invite a conversation with the legislature. What she meant is that we have a democratic process in this country. We have a tradition, and it's part of our fundamental law, that it is the people that weighs in on various decisions of consequence.
How many words did Todd say throughout the debate that no one knew the definition of?
Yeah, I think several.
Many. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, this isn't talking to every man.
You don't hear exponent every day.
No, you don't hear exponent. You don't
hear that often.
And I don't think it's
That's
a good idea
term.
to say, yes, that's right, you heard me.
Exponent.
If you say that, you're kind of I don't
Self-important.
Or just not. Yeah, self-important. Not necessarily believing what you're saying. Yes, you heard me. Ruth Bader Ginsburg, the exponent liberal Democrat who.
So usually, the everyman in Indiana who's watching is probably I agree with Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Gibberish, 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 and that's why you should vote for me.
Yeah, I think that was to kind of maybe as a comparison or more of a contrast, Tom's closing on. Where he brought up abortion and the importance of Roe versus Wade, I thought was great. So let's listen to Tom's close, and then we'll let Tom comment on that.
Yeah, I wanted to play this because Tom saying he had to write this out four times.
So
let's hear how great this was. Really good.
Yeah.
November 8th, 2022 is about Hoosier women. women who've lost their reproductive rights. And even though I'm a man, Hoosier women trust me to do the right thing when I win on November 8th. And I know why I'm going to win on November 8th is because Hoosier women voted in record numbers to elect me as their next U.S. Senator. And I promise Hoosier women, when I go to Washington, D.C., I'm going to know why I got there. I got there because you voted for me, you trusted me, and when I go to Washington, D.C., I will not rest until Roe versus Wade is codified and Hoosier women have the protections that they had a couple months ago. And Senator Young doesn't deserve another 6 years in Washington, D.C., because he turned his back on women when he appointed 3 people to the U.S. Supreme Court. He turned his back on veterans when he voted 2 times against the PACT Act, and he voted against seniors when he voted against lowering prescription drug costs. We can't afford another 6 years of Todd Young in the United States Senate. Vote for Tom McDermott, gomcdermott.com. Thank you.
Bam.
Boom.
Bam.
Well,
he just like picked out 3 major demographics and was like,
Lindsay's so proud of her dad right
I know
now.
I am. I taught speech class, and I know Dad's a good speaker, but I don't get to see him doing debates like this very often.
So Tom,
it
how'd
was
you
fun.
like when you gave that? How'd you feel?
I felt, it was sort of confusing. We knew because we gamed it out so much. We knew that when the moderator said last question, you had to answer the question and get your close in. And it wasn't clear to me. It wasn't crystal clear to me during the debate that was the last question. So if you'll notice, I forgot who went before me. I think James went before me, didn't he?
Yeah, and it didn't seem like he knew it was the last question kind of thing.
Yeah, I feel like
he didn't know
do
his close. Right.
Right. So James missed the close, and that was it once he missed it, right?
Aw.
So when it came to me, I was like, this is the last question, right? If you notice, I said that. She said, yes, it's the last question,
Yeah.
which is key, meaning that's my close. And so I had to answer the question, and I answered it really quickly, and then I got it into my close, which is you turned your back, you turned your back, you turned your back. That was my close, and I got the whole thing in, and I even got part of my stump speech Kevin's heard a million times, which is when I win on November 8th, I know why I won. I won because Hoosier women showed up. I got to do my whole bit, which is crazy. And I timed out my close. It was like 50-something seconds.
Yeah, you were right on. You were right on all night. And that was, I thought that was interesting, though. I just think the contrast between like your very straightforward approach to the abortion issue and then Todd Young's kind of like talk in a circle, talk all over the place, talk around people, don't let people understand what I'm saying, and then don't give an answer definitively on much of anything. I thought it was just a really good, and we talked about this, Tom, before the debate. Just we all thought that this was going to be a really great opportunity for Hoosiers to see the difference between the candidates. And I mean, to me, I'm sure I'm a little biased, but to me, it wasn't more clear in that, just even that back and forth between your close and his, reference to Ruth Bader Ginsburg and kind of all over the place.
You know what I don't understand about Senator Young? I don't understand his strategy. He should be shoring up his base because he's lost MAGA. He's losing his Republican base. And it seems like his strategy going into the debate was to pull Democrats away from me, which is, I just don't understand his strategy. If there's one thing we learned from the polls, and one thing I know as a Democrat is I have, according to the polls, 95% of all Democrats supporting me. And Todd Young goes in there quoting Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Todd Young goes in there talking about how he backed the spending bill with President Biden, talks about how bipartisan he is. I actually think that he's walking away from his base, which is what he needs to focus on, and he's trying to get Democrats to leave me and vote for him, and I think that's a losing strategy.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I don't think there's many Democrats willing to switch parties.
John, what were you going to say?
Climate change.
Yeah.
He mentioned that he thinks humans are a contributing factor. I mean, you would talk about the climate warming as a Republican, you're going to lose some votes, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you would think it's the opposite. He wants to keep his base, like Tom said. All right, so we got a bunch of clips, so let's keep going. This one I cracked up, first of all, Tom's initial response, which was, so just to give everybody a little background, the questions get rotated, right? So like the first question of the night goes to Todd Young. The second question of the night goes to James Siniak. The third question of the night goes to Mayor Tom. And so it just rotates by chance. You don't know what question you're going to get. Nobody knows the questions in advance, so it's a random draw. And then, so it happens to be the moderator goes, the next question is going to be about marijuana or cannabis or something. You could see Tom smile, and then here was his response.
To put it charitably, this would not be my top priority right now, running for public office,
Todd Young.
because Hoosiers don't want this to be my top priority. This would probably be a third-tier priority. A first-tier priority would be inflation, the worst inflation in 40 years. Gasoline over $4 a gallon. It was roughly $2 a gallon when the Biden-Harris administration took office. We have national security issues. We have an open border. We have crime in our cities. So, listen, I will work with state governments as they come up with their own laws. If there are federal barriers to them enacting good laws, then I certainly will consider that. One example would be safe banking legislation that would allow those states which have legalized marijuana for, say, medicinal purposes to the monies earned through those businesses could put their marijuana-earned monies into local banks. We should empower that through our federally protected financial.
I feel like he's just kind of sprinkling a bunch of key terms.
Well, no, it's like the question was on marijuana, and he pivoted to the
gas,
debt.
open borders,
like, what?
blah, 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 blah.
What is that? So
and we need banks.
So, Tom, what was your thought on that?
And
response?
I've said a number of times on the campaign trail and on Lockpod that I understand that legalization of cannabis is not the most important issue facing Americans. I've said that word many times myself. So, but you know who it's important to? It's important to people that get arrested and thrown in jail and charged with a crime. It's not a third-tier problem for them. It's a first-tier problem if you're arrested because you have gummy bears in your car or if you have a plant in your pocket. Then it's really important. So I know to Senator Young this isn't a big deal, but to the people being arrested, and usually the poor are the ones getting charged with crimes and ending up going to prison over it. So to them, it's very important.
Yeah, and I thought you're we don't have your clip, but number one, it was funny because you said, "Oh, that's funny. I get the marijuana question," and then I thought that got a good laugh. And then you said right in, yes, right, definitively, yes, I believe it should be legalized federally. And he just danced around it and never even got back to the question. It was just really
strange. He had to stand his ground.
He doesn't support it.
Yeah.
He doesn't support it. And he doesn't want to say I don't support it because he's losing all the people that want to see cannabis legalized. So he just dances around, two-faced Todd. He doesn't want us to see, he doesn't want to answer any question directly. He wants everybody to vote for him. And instead of answering a question, he just pisses everybody off.
So this next clip is about, and I thought it was a great response from you about spending and how, Todd tries to be the conservative fiscal member of the Senate, and you basically blew him up on it. So let's hear about this.
You're going to hear from Senator Young a little further on in the debate when he talks about the CHIPS Act, which is another spending bill that he works side by side with Joe Biden to help pass. It's inflationary, it adds to our nation's debt, and he's going to talk about it because when Senator Young supports spending, that's good inflation. But when Senator Young doesn't support it, that's bad inflation. The spending bill, the CHIPS Act that he voted for, is a spending bill proposed by President Biden. Todd Young stood side by side with him, took pictures with him, and helped add to our nation's inflation problem.
Yeah, so I thought one of the best lines of the debate was, it's good inflation when Todd Young supports the spending, but it's bad inflation when it's somebody else. And I don't know where, I was just sitting there like clapping when you said that.
Thank you. I think I said that a couple times on the campaign trail. And one thing that most people know about me that know me well is I know economics really well. I'm a dork about the stock market and about macroeconomics. So when I'm talking about inflation, I'm in my sweet spot. Yeah. So, I'm super confident when I'm talking about the economy and talking about inflation. So.
All right. So here's another, this is great. This is during Todd Young's closing where it seems like he endorses, the locomotive. Let's see how it goes.
Yeah, I want to add to that because this is a really short clip.
Yeah.
But my first thought, this is Todd's, I think, ending statement, right? Part of it.
No way.
We saw the whole debate up until this point of who the real fighter is. So.
Right. Definitely, I think Todd Young wanted to be this buttoned up. I'm the senator. I'm very calm. I'm collected. And Tom was obviously very much the aggressor in the sense that he wanted to make sure people knew the difference between him and Todd Young, and so he was going after Todd as much as he could. So here's Todd's closing, Senator Young's closing.
Well, thank you. I again want to thank my fellow debaters this evening for this opportunity. Hoosiers want a fighter during this time.
That's it. Hoosiers want a fighter.
And who was fighting?
Well, it's like Tom's whole 20-year political career
His
has been, I'm a
symbol
fighter.
is a boxing glove. Like,
I mean, Tom, do you think he kind of fell right into that for you?
I was going to interrupt because it was a perfect opportunity. Yeah, I did. I thought that'd have been rude though, and we had talked about when I was going to interrupt, and I didn't want to be looking like Donald Trump, blowing the debate up. But that would have been a perfect opportunity to say, yeah, I agree with you, Senator. Hoosiers want a fighter. I was thinking about it, but I didn't do it.
Well, I think everybody that knows you and everybody that probably saw the debate was probably just thinking it themselves.
Yeah.
And based in their head interrupted Todd Young.
At least anybody familiar with Dad's career will know, like, that's his whole thing is the boxing glove. And he's a fighter for Hammond, fighter for Northwest Indiana. And
Absolutely. So we didn't want to.
So Todd Young called himself ugly, and he acknowledged that I'm the best candidate and I'm the fighter. So.
You know what?
Yeah.
If this
Not
is
a
a
bad
strategy, I am confused, but I'll go with it.
Yes. I mean,
Self-deprecating.
basically, that's right. Self-deprecating and encourage people to vote for your opponent.
Yeah.
Well, we don't want, as the Libertarian candidate, James Seniak, mentioned multiple times, let's not forget there's 3 people in this election.
Yes.
And this, I thought, was one of his more classic statements about himself.
I grew up in northern Indiana. I'm a lifetime Hoosier and a Hufflepuff. I absolutely know
Okay.
what a hard work ethic is because I watched my dad.
Let's just stop.
I want to hear that again.
Okay,
Hold on. Let me play this one more time.
I love
I
it.
grew up in northern Indiana. I'm a lifetime Hoosier and a Hufflepuff.
Okay. I'm a
You
Hufflepuff.
can't help but love him.
He's
Yeah.
kind of adorable.
He kind of is a Hufflepuff in that
Yeah,
sense.
he's very
Could somebody
Hufflepuffish.
explain to me what a Hufflepuff is? I have no
Okay,
idea
so
what
this is a very millennial thing. So I'm guessing he's probably around my age, where we grew up with the Harry Potter books. And there are 4 houses that you get sorted into at the magic school. And one of them's Hufflepuff, which is kind of like the
soft, nice.
Yeah, they're nice, they're friendly, they like weed, and they just chill. They're
They have
just
weed in
super
Harry
chill.
Potter?
No weed in Harry Potter.
They've got other plants, but
Magical
the
potions.
concept is there.
Magical
Now-
potions. I guess weed's a magical potion for some, but
Now, I was thinking about this when I was looking at the notes, and I was like, what houses are we all in? And I've concluded that everyone in this studio, including Dad, who's not here, is a Slytherin.
oh.
Cunning, ambitious, intelligent, and go-getters.
All right. There you go.
Slytherin?
Well,
A Slytherin?
A Slytherin. That's the bad guy's
Slytherin.
house, but
Oh,
maybe that's young.
no. He's probably, I think, young
Gryffindor.
as no, he's a Hufflepuff, too.
All right. Well, there you go.
Todd Young's a Hufflepuff?
I would say so.
Who knows? Lindsay's
there's
doing
the
her
title
millennial
of the
thing.
show. Todd Young's a Hufflepuff.
Thank you. I'm from Evansville.
That's right.
But
All right.
I'll be honest with you. During we like I said, practiced 5 times under actual conditions. So I was gaming it out, and part of my strategy was to not listen to James. No offense to James. I knew that James wasn't going to be ripping on me. And if James did rip on me, I knew I wasn't going to respond anyway. So I wasn't listening. All due respect to James, I was taking notes and I was getting ready to respond to Senator Young the whole time. So I didn't even catch the Hufflepuff comment. And even if I did catch it, I wouldn't know what that meant anyway. So
Well, and I apologize. We didn't prep for that.
Hey, would you guys be open to having
yeah,
James?
we didn't prep for Hufflepuff.
Would you be open to having James on the pod?
Yeah.
That
sure.
would
Yes.
be a good
Be
combo. Yeah.
Why
get
don't
him on.
we invite him?
We will
Steve?
get that.
I'd be okay with that. He
Steve
and I
Kellogg.
can talk Harry Potter.
We can ask him why he really thinks he's a Hufflepuff and what all of
Oh,
of
no,
us
no.
are.
I know. He's got Hufflepuff vibes. He's
Yeah.
got Hufflepuff energy. Somebody on
Well,
the
how
on
about
the
that?
comments said that Todd Young is a muggle, which is just a regular
yes.
old human.
Mhm.
I think that we should invite James to be on Tuesday's show, and I guarantee I will not try to make him look bad. I won't argue with him, nothing like that. And I would hope if he's going to be on the show, he doesn't. I think we should have like a peace treaty between the two of us. If he's going to be on the show, that I'm not going to make him look bad at all. I'm not going to attack him, and he should do the same with me because I don't want to, get ripped on my own show. So,
Yeah, why
would be,
not?
yeah. Come on, Lockpod and rip Tom the whole time.
yeah. If I get ripped by you guys, that's one thing. I don't want to get ripped by my opponents.
I appreciate that. All right, let's do some ads, and we got some more clips on the debate. So hold tight, everyone. This is really interesting to me, at least, to review the debate, and I'm sure it is to you. So stay tuned. We'll be right back after these ads. Misprint. Oh, go ahead, Linz.
No, you go.
Misprint Printing. Misprint specializes in delivering the highest quality signs and printing on time and under budget. Misprint's experience in technology allows them to offer custom, commercial, on-demand printing, sign solutions, and metal business cards. Rick
did it.
Baltenberger and his team have served Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana for over 30 years. They have 2 convenient locations to serve you in Munster and in Hammond.
All right. We welcome you to try Michelob Ultra, a superior light beer brewed for those who understand it's only worth it if you enjoy it. Containing only 95 calories, 2.6 carbs, and 4.2% ABV, Michelob Ultra is a light lager brewed with the perfect balance of hops and wholesome grains, producing a light citrus aroma and a crisp, refreshing finish. Check out our social media for details on this great family of beers and enjoy the Ultra lifestyles with beers and cheers responsibly.
Byway Brewing is a family-friendly microbrewery with a spacious tap room and outside patio. Their brewing equipment offers a unique backdrop for your private event, like weddings, reunions, or corporate parties. They're conveniently located just off of 8094 at the Kennedy Avenue South exit. Come on by and enjoy Byway's award-winning beers and unbeatable menu. For more information, check out bywaybrewing.beer.
Prestimer Insurance Company. The Ron J. Prestimer Insurance Agency has been located for decades right on Indianapolis Boulevard in Hammond, serving all of your insurance needs. They specialize in a wide variety of insurance products and services, including auto, home, business, life, and much more. The Prestimer Agency serves over 1,000 people and businesses all in Chicagoland and the Midwest. Call Ronnie, Ron, or Michael at 219-844-0103. That's 219-844-0103.
Thank you to our sponsors.
Thank you.
And we are back with more debate review with Mayor Tom from Evansville, on the road, truly on the road, Skyping in. So, John, great production work today so far. Maybe I said that too early.
Oh, we were still trying to figure out how
It was like 30 seconds before, and Tom was like, this isn't working. F this.
Dad misses his bed. He's sleep deprived. He's kind of cranky. He's been on the road for many days. It's cold outside. That was an issue for me.
And Notre Dame football completely sucks. That's no
fun. Nothing to look forward to.
It has sucked for a couple of years, though, Dad. So
one of the things
disagree.
Decent last year.
One of the things after the event, Marissa was talking with me we got together afterwards, all of us, not just Marissa and I, but she was saying, like, I was in the studio and like 30 seconds before the event, like the
sound,
the moderator's mic wasn't working or something. Is this right? And she was like, man, I got some insight on kind of the stresses of production. And I'm thinking, like, yeah, you should try working with Tom.
I know. He gets so cranky.
And here we are, like, literally 10 seconds before we go live today. Like, it's kind of a similar situation. Tom's like, this isn't going to work. I can't figure this out. I'm like,
yeah, we're like, all right, we're either going to have a show or maybe we're not.
I was like cursing and cussing, pissed off. And then I'm like, hey, everybody, good morning. Welcome.
How you doing?
Welcome to our world. That's season 7. Season 7, episode 18 could have been the true lost episode. But here we are. All right, we got some more debate stuff going, and there was just so much that I'm glad we got several more clips of this. So this was a clip. This is on the climate change question, which I thought Tom answered great, and this was a weird answer from Todd Young as to his. I think it goes again to his disagreement with it, but he doesn't want to say it. So that was my take on this.
One of my favorites because, one, I already mentioned this, he kind of goes against the Republican talking points on climate change. And two, he doesn't do a really good job of expressing himself here. Here we go.
My perspective is that the climate is indeed warming based on reading a lot.
Okay, I'm just going to pause there. My perspective is the climate is changing based on reading a lot.
Like Harry Potter?
Okay.
Visiting with a lot of people and trying to apply logic to the world around me.
What does that mean?
It's also that humans are...
I'm going to play this whole thing again. I'm sorry. I'm just going to start from the beginning. Here we go.
My perspective is that the climate is indeed warming based on reading a lot, visiting with a lot of people, and trying to apply logic to the world around me. It's also that humans are contributing to that, though I think sometimes the level of precision makes me skeptical.
So he's dancing.
Very interesting.
He's dancing. It's kind of like you talk like that when you don't necessarily believe in what you're saying, and you don't really necessarily want to say what you really believe.
My dad texted right after this clip and said it seems like Todd wants it both ways on things like climate change.
Pretty obvious, yeah. And so Tom, and I thought Mayor Tom was very clear.
That's
on this.
Two-Faced Todd Young at his
Bingo.
finest right there, right, guys?
Go check it out.
That's why we call him that.
TwoFacedTodd.com.
If we go frame by frame, you can see when he switches his faces.
I mean, and Tom, you're pretty clear on climate change, I think.
Climate change is happening, and we need to invest in it, and we did invest into it with the Inflation Reduction Act, and we're going to have to invest more. You know, I was just reading an article from the Wall Street Journal right before I came on the air about Lake Shasta, which supplies most of the Central Valley of California with water for farms, for almonds, for all the crops that are grown in California. And Lake Shasta is at 33% of its high water mark, and so low that they can't even generate electricity with the hydroelectric that they've used for decades there. So climate change is happening, and we're not investing into it. And what we're going to see over the next 20 or 30 years is a migration of Americans moving from the South, West, probably to locations like where we live in the Midwest, where we have plenty of water. But we need to invest in it.
Absolutely. And I think it's interesting you said that, because I keep hearing about the threat of some of these places that won't be able to generate hydroelectric electricity because the levels are so low and they can't work the turbines. I mean, it's actually happening at Lake Shasta.
True story. Yeah, I just read it. The Wall Street Journal has a story on it today.
That's unbelievable.
It's scary.
Yeah, it is. All right, so next clip is on immigration, and this is, I think, a time where Tom caught Senator Todd off guard, and Mayor Tom made some good points.
Senator Young points out all the problems we have at our border, and what he doesn't point out is that he's had 12 years in Washington, D.C. to fix these problems and has been unsuccessful. You don't find me complaining too often about the city of Hammond, because I did. It's my responsibility to fix those problems that we have. Senator Young has been in Washington, D.C. for 12 years. He complains about the broken immigration system, a system he's done nothing to fix since he's been our U.S. Senator. We've given him 12 years to fix it. He's done nothing so far, so why don't we give somebody else a try?
Mr. Young.
Just a point of clarification out of respect for one of my debaters. I do agree, just for clarification, that legal immigration reform is needed. I have supported it. An important and meritorious proposal came to the floor during the Trump administration, which would have given a path to legal status for DACA recipients. The Democrats opposed that because they wanted another election year issue. I guess they think this is going to distract Hoosiers from the inflation challenges they're facing.
Back to inflation.
Yeah.
And another word not many people say. What do you say?
Meritorious. He even got caught up on it. And by the way, I thought Mayor Tom did a great use of air quotes. Good job, Tom, on the air quote use.
You know what's funny is obviously somebody in Todd Young's campaign told him months ago, "Don't ever say Tom McDermott's name." It's obvious, and I've been kicking this guy's ass for the last 14 months, saying his name every chance possible, talking about what a shitty job he's doing. I do nothing but kick this guy's ass, and he is beholden to his campaign advisors who are telling him, don't say McDermott's name. If you would have told me 14 months ago that on October 17th, the guy is not even going to mention my name, much less run negative attack ads against me, I would have signed up in a heartbeat. The only thing scary about Todd Young is the millions of dollars that he's taken from special interests. That's the only thing scary about him. He's a shitty campaigner. He's not a very good politician. And quite frankly, the only thing he has going for him is that millions of dollars he has in a slush fund, and he's not even using it to attack me, which is amazing. And I'm not asking for it, but it's obvious right there that his advisors said, don't even say his name. Keep on doing it, Todd.
Yeah, I agree with you, Mayor. And it's kind of one of these like head scratchers, right, where we're sitting here thinking, what's the strategy here? Is it just like I'm just going to ignore everything and just glide into victory without competition, without any real challenge? And I think so. But you don't. That's such a miscalculation if you know Tom McDermott. You know, if it's one thing if you just have this, mealy mouth opposition that's never going to go after you. And it's going to run a very traditional, like, hey, we're all here just to help Americans, and there's not really much difference between the candidates. And that's not Tom McDermott. I think, now he's in a position, Todd Young is, where I think he's on his heels. And you got to figure out, what's happening? I need to get my shit together because this election's close. And if the vote comes out, like it's already starting to, by the way, from what we've seen, I could be in trouble. I mean,
you know what this reminds me of? It reminds me of Hillary Clinton when she ran against Donald Trump in 2016. She campaigned for an entire year thinking that she had the election in the bag. She was already measuring the drapes at the White House. She acted like she's got this made, and voters hate that shit. And Todd Young is doing the exact same thing that Hillary Clinton did in 2016, acting like he's got it made, acting like it doesn't matter what the voters think. All that matters is I got $6 million in special interest money, and that's all I need. And voters, Hoosiers don't like that. Voters don't like that. And Todd Young, you have a big shot coming on November 8th, my friend. And by the way, I'm going to make a prediction. He's going to go negative probably today or tomorrow. You're going to see attack ads coming against me, and that's because he's panicking and he knows
and that's because he knows he got his ass kicked at the debate, I think. And so, and I you've said this all along, right? I mean, I've heard you say this on the trail, Tom, and that is that like he's taken Hoosiers for granted. He thinks we're dummies. He's just going to go ahead and do whatever he wants with Mitch McConnell in Washington, D.C. He's going to vote the way that Mitch McConnell wants him to and not think there's going to be any repercussions for that in Indiana. He's taken us for granted. He's taken us for suckers.
Agree.
Yeah. All right, next clip. So this has to do with, and this was interesting, and I loved, by the way, this has got such a great line. After they asked about the Supreme Court, the moderator asked a direct question about gay marriage and other rights within the Constitution, and Tom, I thought, gave a great, really, really, really great answer and got me at least to laugh.
I think it's abysmal that you have a U.S. senator that can't say yes or no whether or not he supports same-sex marriages. They're incredible couples. I have a number of friends involved in same-sex marriages, and they're happy families, healthy families. Welcome to the party.
I love that.
Welcome to the party.
Where'd that come from?
Sorry, I'm behind a couple seconds.
That's all right.
It's got a little bit
That's
of a
such a good one,
A little
though.
delay, but welcome to the party. I don't know. It came just right on the spot.
yeah.
I don't know.
That wasn't in debate
I was
prep.
just trying.
No.
No, that was not prep. I said another thing that was off the cuff. Oh, I said what a hoot. That was another one.
Yeah.
That one's my favorite.
Marissa has
it's
known
coming.
me for 30 years, and Lindsay, you've known me your whole life.
He has
I don't think I've ever
used that
said what a hoot
phrase.
in my life.
I when you said that, I was in the community room and I just was like, did he just say what a hoot? I just laughed out loud.
My husband.
Let's go to that now. Let's go to that
All right,
clip.
Brian
yeah,
and
let's
the
go to
boys
that.
were
Let's hear
watching
that.
it
And
and
it started some great memes, by the way, on social media. So here we go.
Senator Young talking about transparency. What a hoot. We're lucky we're here right now. I remember Senator
Let's hear that one more time.
Senator Young talking about transparency. What a hoot. We're lucky
where
we're
did that
here
come
right
from?
now. I remember Senator Young speaking at a public event. He
You
was
know,
being
I mean,
filmed
it's
by
just-
one of his
I was
constituents.
just talking. I wasn't prepared
What a
for
hoot.
But it is bullshit. Like Todd Young to talk about transparency, the least transparent guy I've ever met, the U.S. senator that raised his right hand and said goodbye to his voters and went off to Washington, D.C. and took millions of dollars in special interest money lecturing me, a mayor, about transparency. Get freaking lost, Todd Young. That's
Yeah, I think at the end of that you said, "Give me a break,"
Yeah,
which
I'm
I
gonna-
thought was good.
Let me
You
play
know-
this whole clip.
All right, here we go.
Senator Young talking about transparency. What a hoot. We're lucky we're here right now. I remember Senator Young speaking at a public event, and he was being filmed by one of his constituents, and he had one of his people go out there and tell him to put the camera down. Senator Young is not transparent, and we're lucky we're even here for one debate. When I challenged him for 9 debates across the state of Indiana, I think that's a reasonable expectation. We're running for the highest federal office in the state of Indiana, and we got 1 hour with Senator Young, and here we are right now, and we're lucky we got that. Transparency? Give me a break.
and
then his
the
face.
nod with the you give me a break, and then
I think I know where the
shakes his head.
I know where the give me a break and then welcome to the party and the what a hoot came from. I think somebody like really grilled it into Dad that you cannot curse.
Well, he knew that. He's good when he knows he can't curse. He's good.
So
at it.
he when he's feeling a little emotional and his like instinct is to curse, he's gonna try and find the most
he's like,
bland vanilla
yes.
thing that he could throw
He's
out
like,
there.
I can't say what a bunch of bullshit.
Yeah,
so it's
he's
like,
a-
what a hoot.
What a hoot.
You're right. You're right, Lindsay. You're right, Kevin. That's exactly what it was. It's like I can't say that's a bunch of bullshit.
Yeah, because you're not on the podcast.
Right. So I say what a hoot.
It doesn't even look, like when some people swear, it looks unnatural. When Tom says what a hoot, it
Yeah,
seems
when
unnatural.
he's being like censored, it looks a little unnatural.
Yeah.
But
I didn't even get to bring out. I challenged him to a celebrity boxing match, and he turned me down on that also.
Wouldn't that have been great?
Yeah.
John, are we done with clips?
No, we have one more.
Oh, we got one more. Here we go.
The
this was
infamous.
The Hoosier two-step. This is awesome because number one, it's a great, I think, metaphor, and it also is so true. So background on this is it's the marijuana question,
right.
And Todd Young kind of says, leave it up to the states, and then this is Tom's response to that.
They have Governor Holcomb that says we can't do anything in Indiana till the federal government takes it off the Schedule I list of drugs. And then you talk to Senator Young, and he says, I believe in states' rights. It's up to Governor Holcomb on whether or not cannabis is going to be legalized in Indiana. That's two faces. That's the Hoosier two-step. And I tell you what, I think our U.S. senators should take the lead on this issue so that we can stop arresting Hoosiers, putting them in jail for having a plant in their pocket.
Awesome answer.
The Hoosier two-step.
Great answer.
Thank you.
Dad just invented a dance.
Yeah.
I ran into Governor Holcomb yesterday, by the way. So I forgot I mentioned him in the debate, and he mentioned to me, thanks for talking about me last night. And,
Oh, no.
yeah, he was nice. Governor Holcomb and I are nice to each other, though. We're both enlisted Navy guys, so we have that going for us. But he did give me a little grilling because I said that yesterday. I didn't even remember I said it, to be honest with you.
Well, it's funny when you say that because after the debate, Tom was like, man, I got to look at the debate because it just it's just, I'm so in the moment. It just kind of comes out of your mouth.
Yeah.
And he didn't even have a really good memory of kind of what actually happened. Is that fair, Tom?
Yeah, we did 5 prep sessions, Kevin. So, all the prep sessions and the actual debate are all blurred together in my brain. I answered the same questions in 5 different locations, basically. And so for me, I don't remember what I said one from the next, being honest. But I walked in there, and I remember when I took the bar exam, I would wake up in the middle of the night and my brain was bubbling with law, and I would wake up and I'd be talking about respondeat superior or something like that. Right?
Yeah, right.
I was doing the same thing, getting ready for debate prep. I'd be waking up talking about climate change or talking about the inflation rate, and arguing with Senator Young when I wake up from my dream. My brain was bubbling over with material when I walked into there.
Well, that's all the clips. One more funny story I thought was after the debate, kind of the group of people that were involved. There's probably a good dozen of us, including Chairman Schmuel came out and others. And we kind of got together at a great little place on Mass Ave. I think it's called Mass Ave Pub. And we're ordering some food and some bar grub. Football game was on. It cut to a news update, and it was about the debate. And so they'd throw Todd Young up there, and our whole table would boo, and then they'd put Mayor Tom up there, and we'd all cheer, and the whole bar was like, what's going on? I thought there's a football game on, and why are these people cheering about these guys in suits? And then you could tell the bar was like, oh, that's Tom McDermott, and it was pretty cool, I thought.
Yeah, it was cool.
One last thing, John's got to intro this. One of his buddies.
Yeah. Okay. So everyone's seen the debate now. They've seen plenty of Tom's face from the debate.
Yeah.
I get a phone call, and this person asked not to be mentioned by name, but they're a longtime supporter, devoted fan of Tom.
Aw.
And they go, John, I'm telling you, Tom at the debate, his physical appearance, was a spitting image of Mitt Romney in the early 2000s. That's what they told me. And I was like, I don't see it at all. So anyways, I Googled Mitt Romney, early 2000s. Lindsay Googled it. We have a picture side by side of Tom right after the debate and Mitt Romney in the early 2000s. Tom, I don't know if you're going to be able to see this or not. I've got to be honest. I don't even know how this phone call is working right now.
we're
going to show everyone
our fingers
here.
Crossed.
Do you guys see a resemblance? Because I don't. I'm sorry.
I don't.
I don't see it.
I don't see it. I mean,
I don't know. Maybe it's his mannerisms. Mostly.
Maybe just a vague. When I first saw that photo, and it's a kind of a weird angle of Tom. I think actually he looks real good in that photo.
Yeah, that's a horrible picture.
But you know what? A lot of people like that picture, Tom.
Picture.
Yeah, I think it's a good picture.
I look like the biggest loser in the world in that picture.
No, you don't. I think it's.
I can't believe we used that picture. Actually,
I think it looks
Marissa
nice.
likes it. Marissa likes it. She
Yeah,
loves
and Marissa's got a good eye for photography.
And actually, I think you look nice. This photo.
That's a natural smile.
I was going to say it's a really it's kind of a window into Tom when he's relaxed and comfortable. I mean, that's not a stock photo. He's just kind of hanging out, laughing with the group of us after the debate.
Yeah, all my wedding photos are him and his politician smile. That's his natural smile.
This is his natural smile. That's like
What's
him.
my politician smile?
That was after the debate, right? This picture.
Yeah.
This
right
is
after.
I killed it. Yeah. And I
look at my neck. If you look at my neck when I smile, if I have strained neck. Yeah, that's my politician smile.
Well, this is not strained neck. This is you relaxed. So nice photo. I don't think it looks like
I don't
Mitt
see
Romney,
it.
but
Lindsay, do you see it?
I mean, I kind of see like the face shape is about the same, but that's just because
got a
I'm
better
familiar
tan.
with, yeah, Dad definitely looks better and healthier for
Yeah.
sure.
sorry, Mitt.
Sorry,
All right.
Mitt.
Well, listen.
He's worth a lot more money than I am.
Yes.
Yeah.
It'd be nice to have his money for sure.
And you've never done anything to your dog like he did.
Oh,
Oh God.
All right. So anyway, let's wrap it up. Locomotive, you want to take us home even though you're out of town?
Nah, I'll let you guys do it, but I
All right.
appreciate being stepped in. But hey,
Okay,
listen,
Dad just
I
wants
will
to
be
leave.
back. I
Take
will
it
be
back.
back live in the studio on Friday. I'm sorry I've missed the last couple, but my damn campaign team is brutal. They send me on the road for weeks at a time. It's crazy. So
He's happy about that.
yeah, but I will be back in studio on Friday. I'm looking forward to it, and let's make sure Steve gets on, seeing if
He's already on it. Yeah, he's already on it. He was in the
Steniak's
chat.
interested in being a guest. I think that would be a good show. So.
Agreed.
And I promise to be respectful of our guest, and I hope he's respectful of me. I certainly don't make James look bad. I think it would be an interesting show, though, so let's see if it can happen. But appreciate you guys. I'll let you take go home. I'm going to log off. I got a couple things I have to do.
All right,
Thanks,
Mayor,
guys.
have a great day.
Lockpod, I'm out. I'll talk to you guys later.
All right, there you go. Mayor Tom, Locomotive, Skype. Good work, John, by the way. John takes a deep – go ahead, take that deep breath. There it is.
he's
Exhale.
It's like Tom after the debate. Just
It's over.
no,
John, you look like Mitt Romney.
just
Kevin,
generally
you
unhealthy.
look like Mitt Romney.
No, I hope not. Well, he's not a bad-looking
No
guy,
joke.
guess.
It was
I think
from
I look like Mitt Romney.
from
Hat on.
7:20 to 7:30 on the dot. It was like, is Tom? Are we gonna be able to figure this out with Tom?
Yeah, it was rough. It was rough. On the Skype, he was like, "This isn't working. Now I got to go get my login." I was thinking,
Yeah, and then
I thought he had already logged. I mean, doesn't he already have a username and password on Skype?
And there's like, we got to verify the password. They're sending me different codes.
yeah,
And,
No,
I think we just need to get him set up.
When he's frustrated, he can't think logically, so he's just like, I'm going to push buttons until something happens.
I think he said he's going to throw his iPad out the window.
Sure.
I think
that was at 7:29. I was like, this is great. I can't. There's no stress here at all.
No.
Nope, we're not stressed out at all.
I think what we need to do when we get him back in the studio, John, is can we grab his phone and his iPad and just let's get him set up on Skype like once and for all, so it's just done, right? Let's make sure we do that. That'll be a to-do item.
Yeah.
All right. Well, listen. Season 7, episode 18. Lindsay, thanks for joining me at the adult table. You look great as usual. The notorious LMP.
Thanks.
John, great work with Skype and keeping Tom calm and getting it done.
Thank you.
It was not easy. It was not
Thank you.
easy pay today. You earned your keep
Well,
today, John. a meritorious work by you, John.
thank you. You got to keep in mind he's been on the road a lot. He's homesick.
Yeah,
and,
it's not easy.
Give the guy a break.
Give him a break.
Everybody.
I agree.
Give him
So,
a break.
No
Great,
breaks.
great show. And
Thanks.
by the way, great job with the video, John, and the clips. I know those aren't easy and it takes time, so appreciate all that.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Lockpod is out. Season 7, episode 18. Thanks for listening. We'll see you all on Friday.